Hi, I'm Bill. Thanks for joining me again. Today, I think we're going to begin talking about a restaurant that my wife and I go to. It's called Trader Vic's in San Francisco. We were first introduced to Trader Vic's by our attorney, Thomas A. Black, and his wife. That was in 1968. Tom and his wife invited my wife and I to go to Trader Vic's for a very nice dinner just before we got married. Trader Vic's had been a kind of a haunt for Tom and BJ when he was in law school, and they very much enjoyed it, and they wanted us to enjoy Trader Vic's. So we went up one day. Trader Vic's was located at the time at 20 Cosmo Place in San Francisco, down a little alley in the middle of town. Hard to find, but we did find it. As you walk in, you walk down an aisle. The kitchen is on your right. It's all glass enclosed. And the food at Trader Vic's was Polynesian. And you look through the kitchen and you saw an enormous amount of large ovens and pots and that. But once again, it was Polynesian food. They cook large pieces of fish, large pieces of pork, Kahlua pork. I'm sure you've heard of that. They could do that at Trader Vic's. Well, my wife and I, we went in. We had a wonderful dinner. And then over the way, dinner on our own. Trader Vic's at the time had an interesting group of people show up unannounced. Often you would see Herb Caen. He was a writer from San Francisco Examiner. And you also saw, I can't think of all the people. Just everyone or anyone who was anybody in San Francisco went to Trader Vic's. One day when we were in there, the mayor of San Francisco, George Moscone, saw us go in. We had met him earlier, a couple of years ago, and he remembered us. And he came up to our table and he said, "You're friends with Tom Black." I said, "Yeah, we were." He says, "Well, did Tom tell you that we used to be roommates?" I said, "Yeah, he did." He said, "Well, when we were in law school, yes, Tom and I were roommates. That's how I got to know Tom Black." And we had a little more discussion. And while we were sitting there talking, while he was standing there talking to us, up came another gentleman that he was having dinner with. And this person was Reverend Jim Jones. And we got to meet Jim Jones. And to us, he was very, very nice. I mean, mind you, he wasn't looking for us to join Jones Temple or anything. I'm not even sure that it was mentioned that he was part of Jones Temple. But we were introduced to him. We talked. And Jim Jones was very political in San Francisco. Anything you wanted to get done, you talked to Jim Jones, because up here he had the ability to bring in thousands of people to get whatever you wanted. Maybe that's how George Moscone became a mayor of San Francisco. Who knows? But we had a nice dinner. We got to talk with them and find out a little bit about George Moscone and Jim Jones. After dinner, we took a ride with George Moscone in his limo. And George Moscone was an interesting character. He'd like to cruise the Tenderloin district of San Francisco. I have no idea why. Tenderloin was known for other things. And one night when we were up there driving around, we stopped at a place called the Black Rose. The Black Rose is not your average bar. We were told that it's owned by a couple of policemen from San Francisco. We didn't, we thought nothing about it. As we walked in, it was full of a lot of women around, strange-looking women. I shouldn't say they were strange. They were all transvestites. But we went in and we had a good time. We got to, I think there was some dancing going on. And we did a lot of talking, and George Moscone seemed to know everybody. Introduced us to the Black Rose, which I don't think is around anymore. And that was our one and only time to ever go to the Black Rose. It's been replaced by a number of different establishments in San Francisco, and one it may have been the Power Exchange. That was owned by a couple at the time, Mike Powers and his wife. They're no longer together, to my knowledge, but apparently George Moscone and Mike Powers were also friends. And along with the Power Exchange, there were a couple of other bars that catered to the transvestite or transsexual or communities, and that seemed to be a little bit on George Mosconi's mind. I don't know that George was well. I don't think he was part of them, but they were good friends to him. Anyway, that was back in the 70s. We had a good time. We often went up to Trader Vic's to have dinner over the years. A couple of other places that became our regular haunts in San Francisco. One was the Playboy Club. It was down on New Montgomery Street. And we used to take a lot of friends of ours to the Playboy Club. Basically, it was a restaurant, and you go in there and you get a table. There would be a nightclub thing. We saw all kinds of people there at the Playboy Club, and my wife and I we enjoyed it. I remember we had bought her a fur coat and checked it in at the front counter at the Playboy Club. And we left it there. Mind you, I paid like $3,000 for this thing. By the time we got home from San Francisco to Santa Cruz, there was a phone call waiting for us. Playboy Club had called to say, your wife forgot her fur coat. We were up there the very next day picking up her coat. It was fun. San Francisco has always been fun. I'm not sure where this video goes, but when you're in San Francisco, be sure to stop by the various restaurants in San Francisco. A place that we tend to go a lot, even today, is called Tommy's Joint. It's on the corner of Van Ness and maybe O'Farrell. It is Tommy's Joint came to birth the same time I did, 1947. It is a place where you never know who you're going to meet when you walk in there. You have to go to Tommy's Joint. It is like a diner. I mean, you walk up and there's a counter, you order your food, what you want, and then it's brought to you. There's a bar, and I tend to drink mostly Diet Coke there. Like everyone else, I don't want to have a drink and get out on the road and get stopped, or worse, have an accident. So be careful if you happen to be driving. But if you get a chance, go to Tommy's Joint. You'll have a good time, I promise you. The food is good, and it changes. They have their regular things like enchiladas and turkey sandwiches and roast beef sandwiches, but then they also have special dishes, and their special dishes are they're out of this world. Some of them, for a diner. And you have to go to it. Once again, Tommy's Joint in San Francisco. Well, that's probably enough for this segment. I'm not sure what I'm going to be talking about later on. As you can see, I have a vast world of what I've done in the past, and you'll find that it incorporates an awful lot of people that are famous today, and you'll find out who they are. And we've met a lot of them, and it's strange, for a person that comes from Santa Cruz, California. Well, actually, I came from San Francisco, but I spent most of my life in Santa Cruz, California. And somehow, I've got out and been able to meet these people and share their lives. So once again, thank you.